everyone. Welcome to the Zone to Speak podcast. I'm your host, Juliana. Hey everyone. At Zone to Speak, I know how important it is to stay healthy, strong, and ready for every ride, workout, and adventure. That's why I'm sharing some amazing discounts on products I personally love, designed to support your health, performance, and overall well-being, whether you are an athlete or just looking to feel your best. Cyclists, their smart pump is a game changer. Compact, efficient, and perfect for keeping your tires road and gravel ready. It's ideal for travel too. You can take it on trips and skip the CO2 canisters. You can even change your tire pressure on the go when switching between surfaces like road and gravel. Get 10% off the smart pump and 5% off everything else. 15% off New Zest. Fuel your body with clean, plant-based nutrition. Their clean, lean protein provides a high-quality, easily digestible protein source with no additional additives, perfect for recovery and sustained energy. Plus, their Good Green Vitality is packed with essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your immune system and overall wellness. 15% off Oleos. Oleos offers powerful wellness shots made with adaptogens, nootropics, and functional nutrients to support performance, focus, and recovery. I'll be using Oleos daily in the lead up to my next race, and I have already got my pre- and post-ride shots ready for my long weekend rides. If you are looking for a clean, effective boost, Oleos is it. Use code ZONE2SPEAK15 to save 15%. 20% off First Endurance. Top-tier endurance nutrition designed to support hydration, recovery, and sustained energy for long days on the bike and any endurance activity. 15% off Frey Skincare, made for active lifestyles. Designed for skin that sweats, their all-natural, vegan, and cruelty-free products keep your skin protected and fresh. I have been using Frey for about 10 years, and my skin stays young and has never had a breakout since. 10% off Cold Aid, high-quality supplement to support your health, from multivitamins to probiotics, collagen, and more. I personally take the women's fermented multivitamin and creatine, and I genuinely feel great with them. No nausea, just steady energy and support for recovery and daily health. 10% off Clearly Not Coffee, a delicious coffee alternative from functional ingredients like mushrooms, cocoa, maca, cinnamon, and rhodiola, designed to give you calmer energy, sharper focus, and immune support. Honestly, I can't live without it anymore. It's been such a boost for my energy levels and has helped me navigate perimenopause with more balance and ease. 15% off Ombre Supplements, premium supplement to support your training, recovery, and everyday health. And there's something special from me, your host. As a certified integrative health and nutrition expert and holistic life coach, I'm offering 25% off personalized nutrition and life coaching with Genki Wellness. If you want to optimize your health, improve your energy, and feel your best, head to bemoregenki.com. For all discounts, check out the episode description, use code ZONE2SPEAK at checkout, and let this incredible product support your health and performance. Now, let's get into the episode. Welcome back to Zone to Speak. Today, I am thrilled to bring a conversation that's a little different and absolutely incredible. Joining me are Larissa and Simona Lucca, multiple-time Swiss champions in the breathtaking sport of artistic cycling. Larissa and Simona have taken the world by storm with their precision, strength, artistry, and fearless performances. In this episode, I will dive into their journey on the top to the top and what it takes to master this unique and demanding discipline, and how they balance the intense physical demands with the artistry that makes artistic cycling so captivating. I will talk about their training, their mindset behind pulling off impossible feats, what motivates them, and their dream for the future. So let's get into it. Larissa, Simona, welcome to Zone to Speak.
Hi there. Hello. Thanks, you.
Thanks for being here. So tell me, how did each of you discover artistic cycling?
Yeah, for me, I started when I was 7 years old.
Wow.
There is an artistic cycling club in the village I live in Dunton, and they performed a New Year's show, which my father had seen, and he thought it would maybe be something for me. So my parents organized. They also didn't knew the sport to have a look in the training of them. And yeah, I was really little, but I can remember that I was really, really impressed by what they are doing. Yeah, it was or is still a really small club, so there are not many people. But yeah, I was really impressed, and from first moment, I really loved it.
It is fascinating to watch. How did you get in?
In my case, it's more like a family tradition. My
Oh,
grandparents
wow.
already practiced this sport.
Wow.
Then it was passed on to my mother, and she even met my father through the sport. And yes, then it was passed on to me. I started artistic cycling when I was 5 years old. Yes, and also important to say is my mother is our coach.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How cool.
Mhm,
So when did you
yes.
actually start cycling? Did you ride a bike?
So yeah, we both ride a bike, but actually not that often. When I was in school, I always go to school with bicycle. But yeah, I think I was 3, 4 years old, something
Wow.
3 or 4, I guess.
And can you share the story of how you became a team? How did it evolve over time? How did you meet?
Yes. So it's actually normal to start single artistic cycling. So when we started, yeah, you always to begin you start alone and train some stuff alone because it's much easier. And our story began in 2017. We were both members of the junior national team, but in single artistic cycling. And yeah, we knew who the other is, but we didn't had that much to do with each other. Also, since Larissa is 3 years younger than me. But I think then it was Larissa who wanted to start artistic cycling in pair. And yeah, she and her mother, I think, were looking for someone who would match with Larissa. And so, yeah, they asked me. And I think already some weeks later, we had our first training together. And yeah, to look how it goes and if we also personally match. I think we were really young, I think 11 and 14, something like that. And yeah,
Wow.
it was, I think, really fun training, and we both had fun to also train some other stuff, like in pair. And so in the beginning, we also trained more single artistic cycling and had one training per week together. And yeah, I think this evolved that over time we trained a little bit more together. So until now, we are still also training single artistic cycling. And yeah, we also learned to know each other very good since we spend a lot of time together, not only in training, there are also lots of competitions, training camps, where you spend the whole day together. Also in the evening, you sleep in the same room. So we spoke, a lot about everything. And yeah, I think now it's already 8 years since we trained together. And I would say we are not only a team in artistic cycling, it's also, a really close friendship. We spend really much time together.
That's incredible. So now you are 19 and 22?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
pretty much growing up together.
Yeah, yes, yeah. It has to match, otherwise you can't spend so much time together. Yeah, and it was a match with Simona.
Do you still compete as a single as well, or just
Yes.
pairs? Oh, okay, both.
Yes, yes, that's also not always easy. Sometimes it's a little bit a challenge, but yeah, I think it
Because
most of
on
the
the
time.
singles, you're going against each other.
Yes, that also. Yeah, but that's not the problem. That's not really the problem. It's more that sometimes you have a competition day and you don't have that much time between the two performances. So yeah, it's more
Oh,
like
wow.
that you physically can handle it. Yeah, it's a double load for both of us on a competition day.
Yeah, that's a lot. And of course, artistic cycling requires immense preparation and coordination. You need to be so strong and have so much balance. So, what does a typical training session look like for you? You said you still train a little bit separate, and then I guess you're training together for the coordination of the performance.
Yes, well, first of all, in a training, we of course have to warm up.
Yeah.
That's a mix of strengthening and stretching, of course, and then something playful never can be missed with us. We often play basketball or volleyball or something like that. Yeah, that's just how we get our pulse going up before going on the bike. But that's very individually. That's just what fits for us. Yes, then we go on the bike and just go through basic stuff. Tricks we already know, and just to get the feeling and in the flow. And then it actually depends on the situation, like in which part of the season we are. When there is a competition coming up, we really fully focus on our routine. Then we go twice per training through the full routine and really focus on that. We analyze it afterwards and look where we need to improve. And yes, then we train specific sections from our routines and often also just individual tricks just to really optimize everything. And in those trainings, there's less time for trying out new tricks. We train those things when there's no competition coming up. Then we really focus on training new things, trying out different skills, and that's mostly the part which makes more fun. But yes, it's always a mix of both of them.
Very nice. And how do you develop and refine new routines? Because, like you said, you guys have mastered so many tricks and so many skills. But of course, you keep on pushing the boundaries and you want to do new things. How do you come up with those things and create a routine for the competitions? What is the creative process?
Yeah, it's maybe not that creative because we have something like a rule book in artistic cycling.
Okay.
So every trick that we can show in a competition is in this rule book. So we doesn't invite a completely new trick. Yeah, and it's a little bit obvious what comes next, because if you master a trick, then you can do it a little bit more difficult. And so, it's really, I think, a little bit intuitive what comes next. Yeah, so it's maybe more creative in the way you learn something new. I think that's also really individual. Like we have our coach in our training hall, and I think there are persons who like to train the new tricks almost alone, so they try, and when they fall it's not that bad. And I think you can also train it with some support from our coach, who really run with us on the floor and to maybe catch us if we fall or something like this. And maybe you'll have to be a little bit creative how to learn new things. And I think that's maybe a little bit more the creative part.
Yeah. And not fall on each other and injure each other as well.
Yeah, not that didn't happen already, but
I can only imagine, like, you guys have major skills. Like, I can barely write without hands. That must be funny for you.
Yeah, it's also really funny sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can explain a little bit how the scoring works, just so that we can talk a little bit about your performance, because I know you had a super high score of 107.07 to finish third in the UCI World Cup.
Mm.
So if you can just explain a little bit how the scoring works, and then talk a little bit about the UCI World Cup, and if there are any moments that stand out to you.
Yes, we show a program on a competition and we have 25 tricks in one program.
Okay.
And each trick has a specific score. The more difficult the trick is, the higher the score is. And then you count those 25 tricks together and that's your beginning score. And then you perform and you have judges who judge you. And yes, we have 5 minutes to perform our routine.
Wow.
And then, yes, every mistake or everything that's not looking very good or didn't go as planned will count as a mistake. And in the end, it will get subtracted from the beginning score.
Okay.
And everything that also doesn't fit in those 5 minutes will also be subtracted.
Wow.
And then you end with a scoring, that's your end score. And that's in the end what counts. Yes, the one with the highest score wins. Yes.
Wow.
That's how
5 minutes. Goes quite fast.
Yeah, yes. We also really have train a lot to be fast. So sometimes it's really challenging to show all 25 tricks in 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
I think it's also a part of our training to be fast in our routine. Yes, especially when we have new routines and we train those, then in the beginning we have like 6 minutes and then it's like, wow, how should everything fit in those 5 minutes? But yes, in the end, it's just training.
Impressive. And how was your finish in third at the UCI World Cup?
Yeah, it's always really great feeling. Yeah, when you have your routine and you can perform it without a big mistake. I think you don't feel it that much while the routine is going, but it's always the moment when the routine is finished. Yeah, and you can also share your your joy, and that makes it even a little bit more greater.
Oh, yeah, I love that too. I do a lot of races as a pair.
Yes.
I agree. It's so much nice to share the journey and the destination with somebody. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And do you have any tricks to manage this mentally? Because, like you said, it's a lot of preparation, months of preparation, and then trying to cut time off to have everything squeezed into this 25 tricks into 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then you are competing solo, you're competing as a pair. How do you manage the mental stress and pressure?
One point is maybe to kind of simulate those competition feelings in our training hall, maybe with music that can express some memories from competition. And Larissa is often saying when we start our tuning training and we stand there, she always say to me, imagine there are lots of people here. With special with names, I say that yes, really can't imagine that they are here and the judges are there, and yes, just simulated.
Yeah, I see this in a lot of sports. Coaches are using a lot of visualization, and I think it helps because then the brain doesn't know that it's real, it's not real. So if you create those emotions and you are able to go through the scenario, I think it does make it easier.
Yes. And I think for me, it's it's also helpful to sometimes, close the eyes and see the routine in my head to, and also visualize it. I think that can also help, to be mentally prepared for a competition. Yeah, we always also go through the routine without the bike, like just we walk through the routine.
Okay.
We always do this also before every competition. Yes, that's just involved for our routine before competition. Yeah.
Wow. 4
Yeah, that's
hours?
we do it. I think like 10 minutes before our start, so really close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not when we walk it. It's not the same, but it's more to we also speak together, and then we say, "Oh, it's important at this trick to look at the hand at those point." Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. I would have never think about it, but now that you say it, it makes total sense.
Yes.
So you said there is a rule book, so you can't be that creative, but can you choose the songs, have any type of creative expression in your routine?
As in theory, you can also invent new elements, but nowadays, I mean, there are already so many. It's difficult to come up with something very new. So we really focus on the tricks that are in the rulebook. And yes, we can choose a song, but we do not synchronize to it. It's just kind of a background music.
Okay.
But yes, we can choose it for ourselves. And I think the creative part in our sport comes in play when we kind of think how we can combine different tricks, or maybe what's the fastest way for Simona to come up my shoulders. Then we really have to come up with, the fastest way to, maybe also to switch positions quickly. Then we really kind of dance on our bike, just and that's the creative part in our sport. Yes, but yes, changing places on one bike is sometimes really difficult, and it needs some creative inspiration.
Yeah, I'm in total awe when I see, the videos of you girls doing it and any artistic cycling. It's really, really impressive because it requires, I mean, there's so much there, and especially doing as a pair, the coordination, that's mind blowing. And do you have any obstacles or challenge that you face?
Yes, I mean, both of us already have dealt with several injuries. I think
Wow.
normal in a sport career, and that of course is kind of a setback. But when we're in a team, I mean, it's always someone there to help you go through it. And also a challenge for us, like we already mentioned, is that the fact that we all also compete in single artistic cycling.
Yes, injuries.
Yes, I broke my hand twice, but it was only once in artistic cycling, and then I once broke my foot.
Oh,
Yeah, but it was never, it's not funny, but it was never that bad. So for me, I think it was never longer than break of 8 weeks. So it was, I can say it was never a break of, I don't know, 8 months or something like this.
okay. Okay.
It's not
It's
full,
something that you
but
could recover and get back to it.
yes, I think, and I think when the injury was good again, there for sure you have sometimes you feel it a little bit, but I think all in all, it always get well. Yes.
Good.
For me, the same. I broke my elbow and
Ouch.
3 times my foot.
Oh my goodness.
But
this is all from falls of trying to perfect tricks.
in my case, all the injuries happened in artistic cycling, yes. But like
Wow.
Simona said, one, yes, by me it was once it was snowboarding.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but yeah, I think like Simona already said, it's not like we couldn't train for a year or something, but it's always also something mentally when you start going back in training. You don't have the feeling anymore, and you are so afraid that, for example, the foot isn't already healed. Then you also are afraid of again injuries and so on. So I think that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, because it gets in your head and then you're afraid.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that's also a little bit another challenge. I think there's also in artistic cycling, it's not for all the same, but I think for me or also sometimes for Larissa, we are dealing with fear, not only in combination with injuries. And yes, I think that's sometimes it's really challenging. Yeah, if you know, for example, technically you would be able to do a trick, but yeah, sometimes you're just a little bit blocked in the head. And I think, yeah, that's not always easy, but we both learned how to work with it. And for me, I also had a great coach in Dunton, and she also, helped me a little bit to accept it. And I think that's really important that, you have to accept that sometimes there can be fear of falling or whatever. And yeah, I think if you work with your body and not against it, it can really help.
Yeah. Well, very happy to hear that you are working through those challenges with your coach and finding coping mechanism to accept and overcome. I think it's super important. Like you said beautifully, you need to just accept and work with your body and not against and not force something. When your mind is blocked, when you have a feeling, you need to work through it. You can't just force something.
Yes, I think that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you are big icons, so young, and as role models in your sport. How do you hope to inspire the next generation? I mean, you still have also a lot to conquer, there's so many years in the sport for you, but there's like, you started at 5 and you started at 7. So there are a lot of little girls looking up to you now.
Yes, well, of course, we hope to inspire those kids and be kind of a role model. But for us, it's also, we don't really identify as role models because everything happens so fast, and we think we're still those small girls looking up to
Oh.
others. But yes, I would say our main goal is kind of to make our sports more known. That's also why we started our Instagram account, just to show other people that there's also another sport than maybe soccer or I don't know. Yes, just to take them with our journey. And I think this will help the generation of today's artistic cyclists also when it's more known. This would help a lot.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And I think I would say to little kids, we always say work hard, dream big. And I think that's also what I would say to them. Work hard on what you want to achieve, but also do it with joy and be thankful what you can do. And yes, I would say to them to go their own way also a little bit. I think it's also in our sport, I think we both make the experience that it's not always the same way for every athlete. So what works for one is maybe not the best for the other. And yeah, I think we both learned that. And that's also what I would say to little kids doing artistic cycling.
Well said. You have so much clarity and awareness. I'm amazed. Yeah, and I do want to comment on Larissa's comment as well about your Instagram account, because that's how I came across artistic cycling, and I found you, and I was truly impressed.
Yes, that's really cool. That works.
Yeah, so it's coming across, hopefully,
Yes.
not just
Yeah.
to many.
Yes, that's really cool.
And what goals are you currently pursuing now, both competitively and personally?
Of course, after winning last year's bronze medal at the World Championships, we'd love to qualify again and go for another medal. And last season, we also were very close to the Swiss national record, and breaking that record would be very amazing. And yes, I think those are the competitively goals at the moment. Yes. And personally, yeah, I think the goal is always to learn new stuff in training. It's not just about the competition. Yeah, I think it's always cool if you can learn still some new things. And yeah, I think personally also to find a good balance between sport and studying. So yeah, we are not earning money. Maybe we can also say that it's not that we could live with doing artistic cycling. So we are both, yes, so we are both studying. And I think that's, also always a goal to, find the right balance between sport and studying.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're juggling a lot. And I mean, you're also still young, but even older people in the other sports also oftentimes are not making a living and they have to balance with work or with studies.
Yes.
And what would it take to break the Swiss record? What is the record? Is that on score or number of tricks? Is that the score?
The score, yes. It is
Okay.
123.5.
Wow.
And we scored 122 point something. Yeah.
Wow. Very close. You can do it.
Yes, this was the last competition of last year's season. Yes. So it was a little bit surprising. We didn't expect that much point in this competition, but yeah, I think it was really, really good. Yes, and it's always motivating when you see the score there, and yes, you need kind of goals to go on and work on your
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have your personal best, and for you, quote unquote, pair best.
Yes, and I think also now when we have our score in the beginning, when we start our routine, it's around like 130 points. So it's to only have 7 points
Taken out. Yeah.
Yes, it's not easy. It's really close to perfection. Yes, but I think now it's in a range where it is possible. I mean, if you have 120 points, it's really not possible because, you can't score more than you have in the beginning. But yes, we're getting there. Hope we're getting there.
Yeah. And outside cycling, artistic cycling, are there any other activities or interests that you enjoy? I know, Simona, you like snowboarding. I don't know if you're still doing that.
As well. Yeah. Larissa as well.
Good Swiss. Yeah, you have to do some snow sport.
Yes, you say. Yeah, not only snowboarding, I think because artistic cycling is indoor sport, we never train outside. We are always in our training hall because, we have our special floor and it's, if you fall outside, it's also not really funny. So, that's why we actually always train inside. And that's why I really love to be outside when I'm not doing artistic cycling. So,
Makes sense.
Love to be in the mountains, some hiking, or I'm also do some climbing sometimes. And I think that's really cool exchange to artistic cycling. Yeah, for me the same. I also love to be outside and also like to try out new sports. I'm always open for something new and yes, also be active with something sportive or be outside hiking. And
yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
How many hours are you training a day?
So We have also, yes, we both actually have 4 trainings per week, and they are
On the bike.
on the bike. They are, 2 to 3 hours. And then we both do some physical strength or endurance training. I think for me, it's 1 time in a week.
Yeah, so 1 to 2 times, but it depends on what we have going on besides our sport.
Yeah,
Yes,
makes sense.
maybe not not as much as if you're, for example, I don't know, really a pro of sport where you, I don't know, a ski racer or something like this. I think that's also because, it's not, you cannot earn that much money. So nobody in artistic cycling is doing it as a job or a main job. So I think that's also why, if you train 4 to 5 times in a week, it's for our sport. It's, I think nobody is training like 8 hours a day in artistic cycling because,
Of
you have
course,
to
because then
work.
it's a job, like you
Yes,
said, and you're not
exactly.
getting prize money or anything like that.
Yes.
But hopefully we'll grow, and at least if you can get sponsorships or, brands associated with you, you can start
Yeah.
to make some money, and hopefully not just you, but everybody in artistic cycling, because it is a beautiful sport. And
Yeah, and also our competitions when World Cups, when we travel around Europe, we always have to pay it by ourselves. And
wow.
that's also a point why we really also have to focus on education because we have to pay for those things.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that. Yeah, maybe, I don't know if there's anything that could be done with the sport, like at least, I don't know, even in Switzerland, like the Swiss Association, Sports Association, if they can start. Because I know that, like, I had an Austrian, not Swiss, but Austrian that came, and they had the Austrian Triathlete Association that they helped. And you didn't get paid, but they paid for trips and things like that for big events.
Would already help.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are also looking now for some sponsors, since when you only have competitions in Switzerland, it's not that big. So it's never more than 2 hours of drive to the competition. But I think since 2-3 years, we also have competition outside of Switzerland. And then the traveling is also getting bigger. So yes, that's actually what we are doing now. So to look for some sponsors, yes.
Well, you're very smart. You started with the social media, and then you're getting not only yourselves, but the sports more known. And hopefully also with the podcast, it will help a little bit more awareness.
It would be great. Yeah, it's really cool. We were really excited to do it.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you. I mean, I'm really impressed. You guys are so dedicated, so young, and juggling school and going to these competitions, and you already have so many big titles. I can see you have a bright future ahead, and wish you all the best. And hopefully we'll stay in touch and can talk again after this year's World Cup.
Yeah, that would be great. Really great. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much.
And that's all for today's episode. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider following, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends.